I don't want to get in trouble with the IRS here. I believe, by far the cheapest in town. That's just nice relaxation. That's pretty good. It makes me fearful once it becomes smarter than us. Where it's at now, it's useful for. So when I went solo, um, back in 2022, the the first thing I did was jumped on Facebook, jumped to Google, and typed in, lawyers that work from home, because it was kind of a new thing. And there's literally a page called Lawyers on the Beach on Facebook. Of course, I joined it, and since then, it's been kind of my mission to maintain that type of practice where you have the freedom to be able to be a 30-year-old doctor that can make decisions for himself and have the freedom to know which decisions are important, and act on those when they are needed. Traveling to the national parks with the wife, I love that I've had the freedom to be able to take the RV and work on the road, and it's been seamless. Whether it work at night and drive during the day or vice versa, just the freedom of it has been incredible. So we're definitely excited to start taking him on the trips. He's only 9 weeks old, but little Zenith will definitely be, I think, will enjoy the trips. It'll be nice to have the additional freedom. And right now it's been amazing having the freedom to go to court, be able to enjoy time with him, and in between the feedings, in between the naps, get some work done. And it's been relatively seamless, transitioning to that. So I wish people could do it more often. I live a very frugal life, so that's probably the reasoning why I can do it a little bit easier than a lot of people. But that's unfortunately the way you have to do it, I think. At least that's what's working for me. So, my first few months of being a lawyer, as a sole proprietor, my expenses for the entire, I think I don't want to get in trouble with the IRS here, but generally, my expenses are like, I think it was $200 for the entire year of 2022. Hard expenses that I had to pay for to be a lawyer. There's other stuff related to it, but it's surprisingly doable. Being frugal, I think it's definitely been much easier to go solo and go down this path, utilizing any frugal practice I could. So that's the other better part, is that as a result of me being frugal, I believe, by far the cheapest in town. So it's allowed me to have the freedom that I don't have to bill people, and perhaps even let a few bills go for people and keep those rates low. Money is not what I'm after. It's after people's happiness. If money was what I was after, I would be charging double what I'm charging, and I would add on any additional things you can, but being frugal allows you to not do that to people, and that, getting a lawyer can be relatively affordable. Absolutely. I live in the country. I have the woods in my backyard. If I ever have any issues, with writer's block or anything, I can literally walk right outside and I'm in the woods. So look up in the sky and know you're just a little dot here, and turns out your issues aren't that big. So, but it's been invaluable to have that and keep stress levels low, and be able to continue trucking along and keeping the practice growing. I think there's probably two favorite. Do you say travel destinations? Yeah, so two different travel destinations. There was one, we took the RV to Kentucky, Mammoth Cave. It was like, opened up a whole new world about what different secrets this world has to offer for us. There's a lot of discoveries that are left to be found, I believe, and that is, it kept my mind open on finding new answers to people's cases. It doesn't always have to be the copy paste from something else. It needs to be something fresh and new, and continue to have that type of innovation. The second thing is taking the RV and parking literally on the beach in Destin, Florida. Now that's just nice relaxation. That's pretty good. It's definitely a different space, but based on looking at that, for what I mean, talking about that Lawyers on a Beach Facebook page, and there's tons of other that are like that. I think we're realizing that we can have that freedom if we want it. It's for us to take. There's so many resources now, and unfortunately, with, as everyone else is saying, with the rise of AI and the rise of all this stuff, that it could potentially take our jobs if we're not smart and play it carefully on the way we handle the next 10 years. Looking forward, we need to be able to maintain cheap practices for people, something that's affordable and still catering to what the people need. It makes me fearful once it becomes smarter than us. Where it's at now, it's useful for creating, but in the same breath, it sometimes creates that things that are not in existence. I sometimes do use it to look up cases. I do a quick search and it can give me a very quick answer. However, when you double check those cases, they don't actually exist. There are, it does help you get the law, but always with that stuff, it's got to be double checked. So I think a human always has to be involved in the process, whether that's just checking things over or whether that's creating the parameters of how something has to be created. So every contract's a tiny bit different, and it really needs to have that uniqueness to it. Where AI is at now, I don't think it is gonna take my job, but who knows?
I think the biggest thing is human connection and reliable, like, people that are actually working in it. Like you said, it has the factual information, and sometimes it's not even factual. Like, like you said, it makes up cases, so.
Right. Yeah, and like that, people sometimes don't know what they need. AI is amazing for if you know what to ask. And if you create a humongous paragraph that tells every single bit of the details of what you're doing, it'll probably do a pretty good job. But if you don't, it really just create you something that's not pertinent to what you need. And like you said, you really need that human connection to be able to facilitate all this information. Yeah, the court system hasn't changed that much. You go in, as a criminal, I'm guilty or not guilty. You go to trial. However, there's still lawyers there. Why? Because you need someone to be able to ask the specific questions, to be able to know what questions to look up, to be able to see what loopholes there are, to be able to investigate those types of things. So, like you said, AI might be very good at predicting those things, but I think you will be doing people a disservice if that's all you're going to rely on. Alexis and I have been together for a very long time. I was 15 and she was 13. We've gone through every battle that you can go through at this point in life. But as a result, we have a bond that's, feel like, unbreakable at this point. Once Sookie got involved, it really helped the glue there. But she's been with us since 2015, so it's crazy enough. It seems like yesterday, but it definitely wasn't. And then our son Zena was born, 9 weeks ago, and that's been a whole new chapter of our life that's really opened up. Thankfully, communication. It's definitely helpful to have a wife that I can communicate with freely. It's opened up me being able to communicate freely with other people. Not all lawyers litigate. There's a very small percentage of us who actually go to the courtroom and try cases. So me being part of that small percentage, I guess having that communication with my wife I would think has certainly helped.